So, okay, guys, previous session we have discussed about the JavaScript, right? The few things that we have discussed in the JavaScript, like how can we call the APIs, what is async await, and all we have discussed in the previous session. So, in this session, we are going to like integrate the HTML. Like I will create a separate folder. Okay, we are going to integrate all together now. So session tool.html. Okay, so let's create a simple HTML file. Welcome to Bbic session. HTML, CSS, JS. Okay, let's open it. The lights are on. Okay. Now, as of now, we have learned like how can we create the HTML pages, how can we add the CSS styling for that, and we have learned the JavaScript only, like how can we use the JavaScript, right? Now the thing is, how can we manipulate the HTML elements with the help of the JavaScript? For example, so here I'm going to create an input, okay, type equals to number, okay, so placeholder, please enter enter your phone number. Okay, if you want, I will give the label here as well. Okay, so here I will give the button submit. Okay, so here you can see. So here I have given the phone number, some label, and some text field, and also I'm asking one submit button, right? So now actually what we need is, for example, we can enter one more column as well, so that would be good for you. Now you can see here. Okay, I'm asking first one is a phone number, second in password, and then one login button. Okay, now actually what I need is if the phone number and password doesn't match, for example, phone number must be phone number must be phone number must be like 987654321 0. Okay, so password must be password hash test 123. Okay, if this two does not equals to this, then we need to show some sort of message here, saying like invalid credentials or something. That how can we do? Okay, so to manipulate the HTML elements in the JavaScript, this is nothing but document object model. With the help of the document object model, we can access the HTML elements in the JavaScript with their IDs and class names. Okay, so here I am going to mention, let's have ID login. Okay, and here I am going to have, I'm just creating one helper text, some paragraph text here, and ID equals to uh, hint message. Okay, so how can we access that? And first one, how can we like yeah, so how can we create the JavaScript, and how can we include the JavaScript in HTML? So there will be two ways. One is inside this same HTML file we can do that. That means here we can just have the script. With the help of the script tag, we need to include our HTML JavaScript. Okay, so here itself you can write your complete JavaScript, or else you can just include your file. Source equals to your JavaScript file. Okay, so now what you can do, you can just have the this thing, call a function. So what actually we need, whenever user click on this button, right? So there will be a function called on click handle login. So I am just calling this function. Where this function will be, we need to create it in the JavaScript. Okay, I'm just going to create function here, handle login. Okay, so here how can we access the HTML elements? Here we have created the IDs, right? For button we have created one ID name, for some paragraph we have created some ID name, and for this one also you can like, here also I can create like ID equals to uh, pass phone number, phone number. Okay, so this ID equals to password PSWD. Okay, so now what we need to do, let's you can have the like const, you can take because we are not going to manipulate the this thing, name of ID, so we can manipulate the content, right? So that I am taking const, what is that, phone number, phone equals to get element element by ID, and you have to mention the ID name here. What is the ID name? Number. So you can mention the phone number. Okay, same like that, const password equals to get element by id pswd swd. Okay, and here what I will do, I will just like there is a function called alert where it will just show the pop-up. Okay, now I can say when I click on this, on click session 12.js, on click handle login. Here we will just console.log. Okay, you can just inspect the elements and you can go to console, and from here you can just click on this. You can see handle login here. There is something wrong with the get element by ID. Okay, okay. So because this is a DOM object, so you must have to give document dot get element by ID. Now if I click on this, you can see here the dialog box open. Phone number, nothing was there. Okay, so I will just remove this alert box for now. Now what we need to do, we need to compare, right? So if phone dot value equals to what is that, 9876543210, and password dot value equals to hash test 123. Then what we need to do, we need to say like successfully login. Okay, so here we have one more element, right? So hint message, what is that id name, the same id name, copy this and give it here. Okay, so now what we need to do, if both are valid, then hint message dot value equals to valid credentials successfully login log, logged in. Okay, else invalid credentials. Okay, if I enter this, so we need to show valid credentials. Okay, so in place of this, you can give inner HTML equals to invalid credentials. You can see the text here. So when you enter invalid input, you can see the text here, invalid credentials. Now I am going to enter the valid credentials 9876543210 and hash test 1 2 3. Okay, hash test 1 2 3. So here we will just console.log, just to verify that phone phone.value, console.log password, password.value. Okay, so just enter mtcam, just entering something. Okay, and I click on login. We got the data, some random data, right? So now what we need to compare with this, right? So I'm just going to give here this number and the same password. Okay, if I enter this, so why this is not coming here? Console.log. Okay, so you have to change the content, right, in our HTML. So if I enter 987654321 and hash test 123 and click on login, you can see here valid credentials successfully logged in. Okay, if I enter some wrong number now and try to log in, it will show invalid credentials. Okay, so this is how we can manipulate and control the HTML content in your JavaScript. Okay, this is simple example to like validate to control the HTML. Okay, so based on this you can have multiple, like for the login you can have not only for the login, not only the HTML content that you can control, and also you can manipulate the CSS as well. Okay, now for example, let's give some CSS here. Okay, now let's give some CSS here. Body, I'll give background color light this. Okay, font family I will give, and the font family will be Sans. Okay, now you can see little bit it was changed. Okay, okay, here I will give the button color like border radius I will give 10 pixel, so it little bit curves, and I will give height will be 100 pixel, which is not required. Let's give 50 pixel. Width will be 80 pixel. Okay, let's reduce a little bit high. Okay, now it is better. Let's give background image, background image I will give linear gradient red comma yellow. Okay, Okay, so now when we click on this button, like if you want, you can give more like button over. Instead of that, you can give background color blue, color will be white. Okay, however, we need background color to be black. That you can do. You can see whenever my mouse cursor is there on the particular button, it is becoming black, right? Okay, so now what I am going to do, I am going to I am going to change the color of this. So if we have entered the successful and valid data, then I need the hint message should be in green color, or else the hint message should be in black color. Okay, understood. Now let's see how can we access the CSS. Okay, so the same, it's very simple. So here you need to come. So we are going to change what? Hint message dot. There is a property in the JavaScript to access the CSS of the HTML. How can we do that? With the help of the style dot style. Okay, and you can manipulate the content with the help of these elements. So what we need to do, if it is proper, then we need to mention it in green color, and if it is invalid credentials, then you can show it in the red color. Okay, now there is nothing. If I click on, so if we say I'm entering some wrong number now, okay, and some wrong password hash test 1234, and if I click on login, you can see here we got the response in red color, right? If I enter the proper, you can see here you got it in the green color, right? So not only these two properties color, you can manipulate anything. For example, if you want to like make the content into font style, okay, and here you can mention italic. Okay, if it is invalid, then it will be like italic. Font size, font style, spelling mistake, italic, right? So now you can see the font size, font is in italic format. Not only that, you can manipulate anything. Okay, so you can whatever any CSS properties that you can apply. For example, font size I need it in. Let us consider it will be 20 pixel. I need if it is wrong. That also I can do. If you click on this, you can see the font size is 20 pixel now. Okay, so like this you can change the CSS properties not only for the text, you can change the CSS properties of any element. Okay, it's very simple. You just need to access the element with document dot get element by ID, whatever the ID name that you have given in the HTML. Okay, whatever the ID name that you have given in the HTML, the same ID name you have to provide it here. And with the help of this, if you want to change the content, then you can mention dot html dot inner html. If you want to change the CSS properties, then you can mention like dot style dot whatever the CSS property that you are going to manipulate, that you can do. Okay, now let's see another example. So in previous session we have discussed like we can have multiple selections, right? Option selector. So here what I am going to do is uh, h3 I am going to create find area name based on phone number, sorry, pin code. If you remember, we have done a task last time in the JavaScript. So how can we get the like area names and all? Okay, how can we get the area names and all from the pin code? This task we have done earlier, right? So the same thing that I'm going to now do here, like I'm going to ask user to enter the pin code. I'm just going to give label pin code. Okay, I'm just going to ask the user to enter the pin code, and here I'm going to take the input. Input will be number. Okay, input will be number. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to break that. Okay, so here I'm just going to give. Okay, so here I'm going to like here itself we'll give the button. Okay, I'm just going to give the button search. Okay, you can see we got the button search, and on click what we need to do, on click, on click handle search area. This function we need to call, and id equals to pin code. Okay, so here I am going to create a simple paragraph tag. You can create anything, and area list. Okay, so now you can see we got everything. Now we need to create this function in the JavaScript. So function I'm going to create. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to like the same thing, we need to access all the HTML elements now. Okay, document.get element by id. First one is pin code, right? Id name we have given for the input as pin code. You can just enter pin code, pin code. Okay, and the next will be area list. Okay, area list, that's it. Now what we need to do, this function must be async function, right? This function must be async function. So the same, I'm not going to modify anything. Last time whatever we have did. I'm just going to copy this completely, and here I'm going to check if pin code dot value dot length less than 6 equals to 6, then only we will do this. Else area list dot in HTML equals to invalid pin code. Okay, now I can just manipulate it. I will explain it again. 66321 something, and click on this invalid pin code. Okay, something that we have mentioned here, pin code API. Okay, so we need to copy the pin code API, right? Okay, so what we need to do here, I will create the constant variable. So pin code API slash pin code dot value. So here we will print console dot log what user has been entered the pin code dot value. Okay, now I am entering 524301 in search. Now we got the response, right? So here you can see we got the complete response. Okay, this response what we need to show, we need to show it here, right? So now what I am going to do, so the same thing I am going to highlight it here. Okay, so let data let some variable I'm going to create pin code list equals to, I'm just creating something like empty. Okay, so here what I'm going to do, you can just see this pin code dot list equals to, I am going to create, okay, li tag. I am going to use li tag. What is li tag? What is li tag? What is li tag? Did you remember what is li tag and ol tag? Ol tag is order list and li tag is list item. Okay, so here I am going to manipulate it here. Okay, data of 0 dot post office dot I dot name. We need to return it here. So I don't think this is the correct one to do. 603103. So let's just console.log. Okay, 603103 I'm doing. Printing this li. Here everything you got inside this. Now I don't want everything inside this. I need it inside. Okay. here. Now let's enter 603. Check it out in the console whether I got everything properly or not. Yes, I got it everything properly. But what I will do, I just pin code dot list equals to list plus equals to, and here I will remove this equals to. Now we can see 603103. We will get everything into the same string. We got it as a string, and at the end what I will do is pin code plus equals to the closing tag of OL. Okay, so now this pin code dot list, what we need to do, we need to assign it to the inner HTML area list. Now you can see if I enter 603103, you can see you got the area names. For example, if you enter some other pin code 524302, you can get the area names based on this particular pin code. Okay, let's see some other pin codes. Let's see Guntur pin code. Okay, 522001 Guntur. Okay, 522001. Okay, you can see what and some area names. For this particular pin code we will be having different area names. Understood? This is how we can manipulate the data. Now it is not completed, so if it is not the valid pin code, now we can see what we are getting. 524 some this thing, invalid pin code. Got it? The same like earlier how we have changed, you can change the same like color, all those blah blah blah. So you can just mention the style dot color equals to red. Okay, same here also. That means whatever we are doing in the HTML CSS, we can manipulate all those things with the help of the JavaScript, with the help of this DOM elements, document object model elements. Okay, so here you can see color will be the green. So if I enter some wrong pin code, you can see red color came, and if I enter 524322 something, you got the complete data in green color. So have you understood, guys? Have you understood? Have you understood? Any doubts in this? So this is just an example. With the help of this, you can manipulate anything. You can do any functionalities in the JavaScript with the help of this DOM elements. Okay, the help of this DOM elements, get element by ID, like you will be having document dot get element by ID, and you will be having something got dot inner HTML to change the content, and dot style to change the CSS properties. Understood? So this is what the main thing that you need to understand.